Warning: the following video contains solely our own personal views and opinions. We actively encourage you to form your own views on the video's subject matter, as you are all entitled to your own opinion, even if they are wrong, which they will be. Also, if you feel the need to discuss, argue, contradict or question anything in the video, then please feel free to keep those thoughts to yourself, or leave them in the comment section. I really don't give a shit. Okay, so I'm gonna have a rant, I think. I think that would be appropriate for the channel and for me, because I do enjoy a good rant. And there are lots of things to rant on. I mean, just the other day Leon did one on the cinema. I mean, I could rant on the cinema, I suppose. I don't really like the cinema, but I thought that I would rant on something which has become rather prevalent in the past month or so, which is basically the console wars, which have re-erupted since the release of the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, or the Xbone, as many people like to call it. So this age-old sort of legendary discussion about what is better. Is it the PS3, the Xbox 360, or the PC, and now the PS4, Xbox One, or the PC again? I mean, the one thing that stays there is the PC. And the first thing I always realise when looking at these rants is no one ever seems to mention Nintendo, do they? No one ever stands up for the Wii U. But everyone sort of seem to like Nintendo, really. It's kind of like that weird sort of cousin, which you don't really like to mention, I suppose. Everybody at some point has played and enjoyed a Nintendo game. Usually it'll be Pokemon, Zelda, Mario, or any of the other Nintendo games out there. No one really seems to take a stab at Nintendo anymore, do they? And that might be because they're sort of mainstream consoles are kind of shit, really. I mean, I can't think of another nice way to say it. They're really quite shit. I mean, the Wii U wasn't very good, was it? And it didn't really do very well either. It's kind of like Nintendo seem to be able to prop themselves up with just reinventing Pokemon every year or two, and then Zelda or Mario. But not gonna talk about Nintendo. We're gonna talk about the current consoles, or the next gen consoles. And I was sort of thinking about this, and sort of thinking that video gaming to many people is now a way of life. It's escapism. They want to escape from their normal, rather dull lives and go and play video games. So they're very passionate about what they do, and I sort of see it as, in one way, video games are like God, and then the different consoles are different religions, I suppose. It's a strange way of looking at it, but if you think about it, it is quite relevant, because they seem to all basically do or preach the same thing, but there are slight differences, and the followers of each religion hate each other. So, and then within the religion, say, a sort of different sects. So say you'd have Catholicism and Protestantism, now you have Call of Duty or Battlefield, which seems rather odd, doesn't it? But we're not going to get onto that, we're just sticking to the consoles here. And something I really hate about the console wars, as you would say, is just people's just absolute hatred of anyone who doesn't play on the same console as them. And it's just something I can't get my head around. I mean, if someone wants to play on PC, what's wrong with that? Someone wants to play on Xbox, PlayStation, I don't see why people seem to sort of just want to force other people to do it. Well, they don't even want to do that, they just want to assert themselves as being somewhat better than the others. And since the new console has been released, there's been a lot of talk. Obviously, the Xbox has been getting a lot of stick, and the PlayStation 4 seems to have, some would say, won the first round of these consoles. And I think some of the stuff they've been saying is really stupid. I mean, people are arguing that the PlayStation's 40-50% more powerful than the Xbox. I was thinking, anyone who buys the new console on the grounds of it being more powerful than the other is an idiot, really, because first of all, current PC technology will surpass, and probably has already surpassed, the current console. So the argument there is sort of invalid, and a lot of PC gamers like to remind them of that. And then also, these consoles are going to be so hugely optimized that there'll be no difference whatsoever. You won't notice anything. I mean, people now put PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 comparison videos up, and they get millions of views, and people are pointing out tiny little differences, saying, "Oh, the saturation looks better on this one, blah 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 blah." It's bullshit. Okay, it's bullshit. I mean, if you buy it on the grounds of that, you're an idiot. Okay, people should always buy the console on what their friends play, which is what I did, because I could have bought a PlayStation 3, but I bought an Xbox 360 when I first got really into gaming, because all my friends had it. I mean, what fun would it be sitting on PlayStation with none of my friends? I mean, consoles now become a very social thing, as well as a gaming device. And then also another thing, you should choose your console needs whether you like the controller, because that's, even though it may seem a small thing, it's going to be a big thing. If you really dislike the PlayStation or Xbox controller and you can't seem to put your hands around it, don't know why I'm gesturing this because you can't see, but I don't even know what these gestures are, but it's going to be a big part. So I think it shouldn't play as big a part as choosing it, say, based on what your friends had, but still, you should look at it and think, oh, I really dislike this controller compared to this one, maybe I should go with that console. And then also, the final thing is the games which are on each console, the exclusives, which brings me on to more of a rant about these consoles. And I really dislike the idea of exclusive games, because I don't know, but other people who play them, like PlayStation 3 exclusives, they seem really chuffed that no one else can play them. Like when I played Uncharted, I actually bought a PlayStation when it was relatively cheap, just to play Uncharted, because the type of genre, the Lost City adventure, sort of Indiana Jones, it really appealed to me. I really liked that, so I bought a PlayStation 3, and I also played other games, but it was mainly to play Uncharted. And when I finished each Uncharted, I thought, wow, that was amazing. That was a really fun game. Well, it's not so much a game, a really fun, I call it an interactive story. It was really interesting though, kept me captivated throughout, and I wasted a good couple of days just ploughing through all of them. I didn't think, wow, what a great game, I'm glad no one else can play that. Because as soon as I finished it, I felt kind of sorry for my friends who play Xbox, that they couldn't play this game, we couldn't discuss it and talk about it, because it's such a good game. And it's like this is coming out with The Last of Us. Lots of people are disappointed that they can't play it because it's a PlayStation exclusive. I mean, why? It's just like some of the things on PC, which I now play majority of my gaming on PC. I bought it because the wider selection of games, and you can understand with some PC games, especially with mods, it's a lot easier, and some games just wouldn't work on console. But between the two consoles, every game will work, and I don't see why people feel the need to just, it's just to sell, really, isn't it? And I also think you're a bit silly if you're buying it based on one game, a console. I mean, that's just silly, because it's one game, and at the end of the day, there's lots more. And I think there should be no console exclusives, because that's just a bit silly, because then you're just depriving other people of a good gaming experience. And at the end of the day, the more people play your game, the better, because more people buy it, which means more money to improve the game or the sequel. And it's obviously eventually going to be a better game, isn't it? The more people play, the more people have opinions, the more people say could make mods if you're talking about PC. And it just seems a bit cheap, really, to deprive certain people of it. And then what have they done to you? They haven't done anything. They haven't killed you, burned your house down, ransomed your family. No, nothing. They just want to play games. That's why they bought one console. Maybe they can't afford two. They just want to play games. So why does the video gaming industry, which is just awful now, feel the need to just basically be a dick? They're being a dick, aren't they? And deprive certain people of playing certain games. It's pretty mean, isn't it? It's not very nice. But then, at the end of the day, what can you do? And this fuels what I was saying before with the console wars, the people ranting and abusing each other or the YouTube comment section over which console is better. And simple fact of the matter is, neither console is better, because at the end of the day, they're both gaming consoles playing the majority of the same games. There's nothing different. They both do the exact same job. And if you're gonna flame and hate on other people because they don't play the same console that you do, I can't stop you. No one can stop you. Freedom of speech, isn't it? But you're a bit of a dick.
He's shooting quite a lot. I was right in the explosion there. Oh my god, he's mangled.